Stop what you're doing right now. This isn't just another video. This is the moment everything changes. You've felt it your entire life. That splinter in your mind, that nagging suspicion that something isn't right with this reality. That some people seem to effortlessly bend the world to their will, while others struggle endlessly against invisible barriers. There's a reason for this. The world you perceive isn't what you think it is. It's a construct, a sophisticated projection, a matrix of energy responding not to physical laws, but to a hidden technology you already possess but have never fully activated. I'm about to show you why Mozart composed symphonies that still haunt us centuries later, why Tesla invented technology decades ahead of his time, why Churchill could rally an entire nation from the brink of defeat, why Benjamin Franklin could master politics, science, and philosophy simultaneously. These weren't just talented men. They were initiates. They all shared membership in the same secret brotherhood, the Freemasons. And not just any Freemasons. They were 33rd degree, the highest echelon of a society that has shaped wars, revolutions, and the very founding of nations. What if I told you their power wasn't mystical or supernatural, but based on precise, learnable principles of reality manipulation that have been deliberately hidden from you? Today, I rip open the veil. No metaphors, no riddles, no spiritual platitudes. Just the raw, unfiltered truth about how reality actually works, and how you can command it instead of being commanded by it. This knowledge was never meant for you. It was reserved for the elite few deemed worthy of initiation, the architects who design the very maze the rest of humanity runs through, never seeing the walls. In the next 15 minutes, I'll reveal the 3 fundamental laws of reality creation that have been guarded for millennia. Once you truly understand them, the world will never look the same again. You'll see the hidden machinery behind everything. Your relationships, your finances, your health, your emotions, all of it responding to forces you've been using unconsciously your entire life. This is your red pill moment, your point of no return. Before we begin, you need to understand something crucial about the Freemasons. They weren't just a fraternal organization passing down moral teachings through elaborate rituals and symbols. They were and are keepers of an ancient technology of consciousness, the American Revolution, the French Revolution, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution. None of these were accidents of history. They were engineered by men who understood how reality bends to focused consciousness. Of the 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence, at least 9 were confirmed Freemasons. Of the 39 signers of the Constitution, at least 13 were Freemasons. Coincidence? Never. Look at the symbols on the back of a dollar bill. The unfinished pyramid. The all-seeing eye. These aren't decorative elements. They're encoded instructions in the technology of reality manipulation. But the most daring revelation came from a man named Manly Palmer Hall. Initiated as a Freemason in 1954, it took him 19 years to reach the 33rd degree, the inner circle where the real knowledge is transmitted. In his monumental work, The Secret Teachings of All Ages, Hall did something unprecedented. He encoded the most guarded secrets of reality creation in a language that could be deciphered by those with eyes to see. I've spent years decoding this text, tracing its connections to quantum physics, neuroscience, and the cutting edge of consciousness research. And it all comes down to 3 fundamental laws that govern everything you experience in this reality. Laws so simple a child could understand them, yet so profound they can transform your entire existence. Pay close attention now. What I'm about to share has been kept from you for a reason. The first principle is the law of cause and effect. Forget everything you've been taught about randomness, luck, and chance. They don't exist. They never did. Every single thing happening in your life right now, your financial situation, your health, your relationships, your emotional state, all of it has a cause. and that cause isn't in the physical world. It's in the invisible realms that precede physical manifestation. Hall wrote, "The immutability of the law was stressed that every thought and act must react according to the nature of the energy liberated. This reaction was symbolized by the circle, the symbol of infinite action." Let me decode this for you. First, immutability of the law means this principle cannot be broken. It operates whether you believe in it or not, whether you're conscious of it or not. Like gravity, it doesn't care about your opinion. Second, every thought and act must react according to the nature of the energy liberated. Your thoughts aren't just electrical impulses in your brain. They're energy packets that ripple through the quantum field, attracting similar energy patterns back to you. This isn't New Age nonsense. This is quantum entanglement applied to consciousness. When you think a thought, you're not just experiencing a subjective feeling. You're literally sending out a frequency that the universe must, by immutable law, respond to with matching frequencies. Third, this reaction was symbolized by the circle, the symbol of infinite action. Reality isn't linear, it's cyclical. Everything moves in patterns of expansion and contraction, growth and decay, rising and falling. Empires rise and fall, economies boom and bust. Your own life experiences cycles of success and challenge. But here's where most people fail. They reason by analogy instead of from first principles. Reasoning by analogy means copying what others do. This person got rich doing X, so I should do X too. This is the thinking of sheep, not creators. Reasoning from first principles means breaking everything down to fundamental truths and building up from there. Elon Musk doesn't accept conventional wisdom about what's possible. When told rockets cost $65 million, he broke down the cost of materials and built one for $2 million. The masses look at effects and try to copy them. Masters identify causes and manipulate them directly. Which are you? If you're still operating on the programming you receive from society, believing in luck, chance, and external circumstances controlling your life, you're a puppet dancing on strings you can't see. Cut the strings. Start identifying the actual causes behind the effects in your life. Every emotion you feel has a thought behind it. Every circumstance you experience has a pattern of thinking behind it. Every relationship dynamic you encounter has a belief system behind it. Identify those hidden causes, change them at their source, and watch as your reality transforms before your eyes. The second principle is the law of spirit. This is where science and spirituality converge in ways that would shatter most people's understanding of reality. Hall revealed, "The universe is made up of successive gradations of good. These gradations ascend from matter, which is the least degree of good, to spirit, which is the greatest degree of good." Simplified, there's a hierarchy of causation in the universe, and physical matter is at the bottom, not the top. Most people spend their entire lives trying to manipulate matter directly, pushing against physical circumstances, fighting physical limitations, struggling with physical problems. This is like trying to change your reflection by putting makeup on the mirror. Reality flows in one direction only, from spirit to mind to matter, never the reverse. The ancient yogis understood this. They mapped the evolution of reality: nothingness, energy, awareness, consciousness, mind, body. This isn't mystical speculation. It's the actual architecture of creation. Consider the placebo effect. Patients completely heal from serious diseases because they believe they're taking medicine, when they're actually swallowing sugar pills. Their belief, a non-physical thing, literally rewrites their biological reality. Scientists at Harvard Medical School found that placebo surgeries, where patients believe they had surgery, but doctors only made an incision and stitched it up without doing anything, produce the same healing effects as actual surgeries in many cases. How is this possible if matter is primary? It isn't. Matter is secondary. Consciousness is primary. Your body has quantum healing capabilities that modern medicine barely understands, all activated by the power of belief. So if you want to change something in your physical reality, stop attacking it at the physical level. Go to the source, the level of consciousness and spirit. This is the true purpose of meditation. It's not just some relaxation technique. It's a technology for accessing the control panel of reality itself. When you quiet your mind and tap into pure awareness, you're touching the source code of the universe. You're operating at the level where physical reality is programmed, not where it's expressed. Masters don't fight against manifestations. They change the blueprint that creates the manifestations. The third principle is the law of imagination. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is the actual mechanism by which consciousness becomes reality. Hall called imagination the star in man, the celestial or supercelestial body, and said it was the great secret of the mysteries. Why such cosmic language for something we dismiss as childish fantasy? Because your imagination isn't just mental pictures, it's the intersection point between your individual consciousness and the universal field of potential. It's the workshop where reality is fabricated before it manifests physically. Einstein said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited to all we now know and understand, while imagination embraces the entire world and all there ever will be to know and understand." He wasn't being poetic. He was describing the actual mechanics of reality creation. Tesla said he would run entire experiments in his imagination, observing how his inventions worked in perfect detail before ever building them physically. "The idea came like a flash of lightning," Tesla wrote. "In an instant, the truth was revealed. I drew with a stick on the sand the diagrams of my motor. 1,000 secrets of nature which I might have stumbled upon accidentally, I would have given for that one which I had wrested from her, against all odds and at the peril of my existence." But there's a crucial distinction most people miss: the difference between passive visualization and active imagination. Visualization is seeing pictures in your mind. Imagination is creating an entire inner reality that engages all your senses and emotions. The 19th century mystic Neville Goddard called this thinking feelingly, combining the power of thought with the energy of emotion to create an inner experience so real that your subconscious mind cannot distinguish it from physical reality. When your subconscious accepts something as real, it must, by immutable law, find ways to align your outer reality with that inner experience. This is why most visualization techniques fail. People picture their desires like watching a movie, remaining emotionally detached observers. Masters imagine their desires with such sensory and emotional intensity that they experience them as already real. The gap between inner and outer reality creates a vacuum that physical reality must fill to restore equilibrium. This is the actual mechanism behind what people loosely call the law of attraction. Now let me show you how these three principles work together in practice. First, understand that you're already using these laws every day. You're just doing it unconsciously, often creating results you don't want. Every belief you hold is a cause generating effects in your life. Every emotional pattern you maintain is programming your reality at the level of spirit. Every scene you repeatedly imagine is a blueprint your reality is striving to match. To take conscious control of this process, identify the first principles governing whatever area of life you want to transform. Break down your assumptions until you hit bedrock truth, then build from there. Work at the level of spirit, not matter. Don't try to force physical changes directly. Change your state of consciousness first, and let physical reality realign naturally. Use active imagination, not passive visualization. Create inner experiences so real that your body and emotions respond as if they're actually happening. Let me give you a specific protocol developed from Manly Hall's teachings. For the next 30 days, right before sleep, when your conscious mind is relaxed and your subconscious is accessible, Choose one specific thing you want to manifest. Don't make it unrealistic, but push beyond your comfort zone. Close your eyes and use all your senses to imagine already having this reality. See it, hear it, feel it, smell it, taste it. Make it cinematically vivid. Generate the actual emotions you would feel if this were already your reality. Feel the gratitude, joy, confidence, or peace in your body. Maintain this state for 10 to 15 minutes, fully absorbed in this inner reality. As you drift to sleep, maintain the feeling of your desire fulfilled. During your waking hours, practice periods of silence and pure awareness connecting to the source level of reality. Question your assumptions about everything. Reason from first principles, not by comparing yourself to others. Pay attention to synchronicities and opportunities that align with your imagined reality, and take inspired action on them. This isn't a technique, it's a technology, a precise application of the laws governing consciousness and reality. The powers that controlled this knowledge didn't want you to have it, and for good reason. Imagine a world where everyone understood that reality responds to consciousness, where people stopped fighting over resources because they could manifest what they needed, where sickness and poverty disappeared because we understood the mind's power over matter. The entire control structure of our society would dissolve overnight. That's why this knowledge has been encoded in symbols, hidden behind elaborate initiations, and when spoken openly, ridiculed as superstition. The greatest con ever played on humanity was convincing us that we are powerless observers of reality rather than its creators. But the time for secrets is over. You now understand the three immutable laws governing everything you experience. The law of cause and effect. Your thoughts and beliefs are the hidden causes behind the effects in your life. The law of spirit. Reality flows from consciousness to matter, never the reverse. Work at the level of spirit to change physical circumstances. The law of imagination. Your imagination, combined with emotion, is the workshop where reality is fabricated before physical manifestation. This isn't theory. This isn't philosophy. This is the actual operating system of reality that has been hidden from you for millennia. The question isn't whether these principles work. They're working every moment, whether you're conscious of them or not. The question is, will you continue creating by default, or will you take conscious control of the process? Will you remain a pawn in someone else's game, or will you step up as the architect of your own experience? Will you keep believing you're subject to external forces beyond your control, or will you accept responsibility as the primary causal force in your reality? Make your choice now, but understand, not choosing is still a choice. And the reality you're experiencing right now is the sum total of all the choices you've made, consciously or unconsciously, up to this moment. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are not at the mercy of luck, chance, or external conditions. You are the creator, the projector, the source of everything you experience. Now act like it. Take this knowledge and apply it rigorously for the next 30 days. Then watch as the very fabric of your reality begins to bend to your conscious command. This is your birthright. This is your power. This is the truth that sets you free from the matrix of unconscious creation. Use it wisely. Use it now.